My name is Angeles, and welcome to Finish the Thought. In today's episode, as you might have seen from the title, I want to talk to you about today's issues, especially today's issues for women. This is an issue that is very important right now to talk about. We all need to talk about this because it won't change if we don't. And as I always say, and I'll say it again, a little bit different because of the topic. I'm not a sociologist and I'm not a politician. I'm not here to demonize anyone. I'm just someone who doesn't like stopping halfway through a thought. And right now, society is stopping halfway through a very uncomfortable one. And right now, I want to talk about the it's not all men argument, among other things, obviously. Because let me make one thing very, very clear to all the men listening. When a woman says it's not all men, it's always a man. We are not saying every man is dangerous. We are saying that the risk is gendered. The threat doesn't come from nowhere. It has a statistically consistent source. The phrase isn't an accusation, it's a pattern. Women aren't afraid because we think every man will hurt us. We're afraid because we can't tell which ones won't. The fear isn't about intent, it's about probability. And statistically, when violence happens to women, it is overwhelmingly coming from men they know or men they encounter. So, when I was talking to my friend the other day, he's male, by the way, he told me that more men get murdered than women. I'm not arguing that. Statistically, he's right. Yes, he's right. More men get killed than women. True, but statistics don't stop at the victim, they also include the perpetrator. And the people killing those men are overwhelmingly other men, not women. So when you think you're being smart and saying it's not all men, that's stupid because statistically, it's usually a man. Women are not the primary source of lethal violence against men. And right now, that card is not reversible. So when women say we're afraid of men, it's not prejudice. It's an acknowledgement of where violence actually comes from. And the fact remains, men are victims of violence, women are victims of men. Those are not the same statement, but they're related. Now let's be real. Let's talk about the men versus bear in the woods argument, right? We've all heard it. We've all seen those videos. Why do women always choose the bear? I choose the bear. I 100% choose the fucking bear. And I always will. Why, you might be asking? Well, it's easy. A bear is dangerous but predictable. A bear doesn't pretend to be safe. A man, on the other hand, might be safe or he might not. And women are expected to gamble on that uncertainty. Women don't choose the bear because we hate men. We simply choose the bear because we know what the bear is. So now that we understand that women's fear isn't irrational, and it isn't hatred, and it isn't exaggeration, then the next question becomes uncomfortable but necessary. Where are the people with the loudest voices? Because right now, women are speaking loudly, consistently. We're sharing our stories, our fears, our statistics, our lived reality. And at the same time, something else is happening that is hard to not notice. A hell of a lot of men with enormous platforms, actors, musicians, influencers, public figures, have gone very, very quiet. To all those men, I want to say, your silence isn't neutral. Not anymore. It's a choice. There was a time when staying quiet could be framed as neutrality. Guess what? Newsflash. We're past that time, boys. When one group is saying we are not safe and the people with power say nothing, that silence doesn't sound like caution. It sounds like indifference. No one is asking celebrity men to have all the answers. No one is asking them to fix everything. Because hear me when I tell you this. When you benefit from the fucking system, you don't get to opt out of its consequences. And that rolls perfectly into my next segment. And this is where I want to talk about something that I keep hearing, especially from men who say they mean well. The phrase that we all heard, say it together, ladies. Men are protectors. Now, at face value, that sounds noble. Protecting implies care, responsibility, strength used for something other than their ego. But if we're going to use that word protector, we have to be honest about what it actually means. So let me ask the obvious question. Protect us from what exactly? There are no lions roaming the streets, no wild beasts waiting behind the grocery stores, no pack of wolves in the parking garage. Women are not afraid of animals. We're afraid of people. And statistically, surprise, surprise, the people we're afraid of are men. That doesn't mean all men are dangerous. It means danger overwhelmingly comes from one direction. Which is why, handsome fellows, not all men misses the point entirely. If men truly wanted to protect us, then protection doesn't mean stand in front of us with your chest puffed out. It means stand between us and other men when it matters. It means calling out your friends. It means intervening when someone's behavior crosses a line. It means not laughing it off, not minimizing it, and not staying quiet. Protection isn't about control. It's about accountability. And this is why silence is such a huge problem, because silence protects the wrong people. So when women say we don't feel protected, it's not because men lack strength. It's because too many men refuse to use it where it actually matters. And we cannot talk about women's safety without talking about Roe v. Wade. Roe v. Wade wasn't about politics. It wasn't about religion. It was about bodily autonomy. It was about the idea that the government does not get to make medical decisions for you. When Roe was overturned, that protection disappeared, and what replaced it wasn't care, it was control. In many states right now, women can be forced to carry pregnancies that endanger their health. Doctors can hesitate to provide life-saving care because they're afraid to go to fucking prison. Rape victims can be denied autonomy over their own bodies. This isn't hypothetical, this is happening right now. And when people ask why women are scared, or angry, or protesting, this is why. Because when the state claims authority over your body, you are no longer a full citizen. You are property with conditions. And this problem does not exist in a vacuum. It's reinforced by power. So this is the moment where I want to speak to men directly, especially the ones who know this isn't right. Hear me when I say this. Your silence is not neutrality anymore. Your silence is a position. If you're a man who believes women deserve autonomy, safety, and dignity, then now is the time to say it out loud and publicly. Because when the loudest voices are the worst ones, silence doesn't create balance, it creates cover. And to the women, keep talking. Keep protesting. Keep refusing to be polite about your own safety. You are not overreacting. You're not hysterical. You're responding appropriately to a real and escalating threat. History has never been kind to women who stayed quiet to keep the peace. And it has never been kind to men who told them to calm down. And to the men who are making it worse, the ones who mock it, dismiss it, minimize it, or quietly benefit from it, understand this clearly. This conversation is not going away. Women are not going back. And the more pressure you apply, the more visible this becomes. So yeah, I want to end this segment, end this podcast by saying, when you see women protesting in Handmaid's Tale's clothing, that isn't cosplay. It's a warning. Throughout history, oppressed groups have used symbols to say, we recognize this pattern, we know where this road leads. To the women doing that, I want to say, you are being heard, and what you are doing matters. And so, this isn't about hating men. It's about refusing a system that protects the wrong ones. And this isn't over, not even close. We are still here, we're still talking, and we're not asking for permission anymore. This was Finish the Thought. I'm not asking you to agree with me. I'm asking you to think. Sit with it. Sit with what makes you uncomfortable. Sit with the questions that don't have easy answers. And then ask yourself two things. One, what kind of world are we building and who does it actually protect? And two, more importantly, if this was happening to someone you love, would your silence still be acceptable? Oh, and at this point, I'm not gonna pretend neutrality. Fuck Donald Trump. Fuck ICE. Because politics that harm women don't deserve polite language. That's it for today. Thank you for hanging out with me. Thank you for listening. My name is Angelus, and this was Finish the Thought.